join this meeting. Unfortunately, I'm on the move, on my way to work, so you have to bear with me.
Oga Kofi, sorry, before you go ahead, please, you're not allowed
Yeah.
to call me that, please. I'm your boy, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Oga Sami is a brand, and I recognize that brand. So, Oga Sami, I've heard you, but the cat is already out of the bag. Ship is sealed. But thank you so much for having me here, and to all of you, congratulations on the move you've made to, you know, get yourself into the media world. It's a step that you will not regret, as long as you take all the advice you're getting from this platform, from all the people you are um, coming into contact with, and then from the lectures you get. Basically, like I said, thanks to everyone. I'll share my story with you very briefly, and just a few things I've learned along the way, like I did last time. The media world is not a rosy world. It's not a rosy world like some people think it is, and I think your principal here will be able to attest to that fact. Maybe he's told you already. We have our ups and we have our downs. Some people get attracted to the allure of media world, and they feel um, it's an easy ride. It's a world of glamour. It's a world of uh, razzmatazz, glitz, and bright lights, and they're attracted to that. Or feel that everyone who works in a bank has money. Because I mean, what do you have to do? Just take the money from the bank. And we felt everyone who was on TV um, was wealthy. But I mean, as we grew older, we got to realize. I got to realize, and I'm sure a lot of other people my age got to realize that the fact that you work in the bank didn't mean you were rich. You know, so and the fact that you're on TV doesn't mean that everything is rosy. So what you know is an industry of grit. It's an industry of self motivation, and a lot of other things that I will not mention. Um, for instance, you see a beautiful lady on Instagram, always in the studio with her makeup on, taking photographs, and oh wow, and she looks beautiful on TV, or maybe she's on radio and she looks. You can't work hard, then you won't last. Okay, and I don't think there's any industry in this world really where hard work doesn't pay off. Okay, hard work does, but they have to actually stay up all night. They're on the night shift. They have to get to the work in the morning, leave the house, get up by 4 a.m. because they have to be on air by 5. That's not pleasant because your mates are sleeping while you on the road. Okay, so there are a lot of things that go into. So I want to prepare your mind. If you are all about the glamour and the bright lights, celebrity status, I want you to know that that's not the way it is. And even today, where we have the individual cult, this media individual cult, the age of the influencer, one man squad. The guy who has views on Instagram, the guy who has views on TikTok, hard work goes into it. Some of them have been putting on videos for 3 years. Nobody's been watching those videos. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be ready to do the work and be ready to go into an industry where no one will give you your flowers. Sometimes you're doing the work and people step on you. You know, you could be fired one day. You could even lose. I mean, so many things. Okay, so when you get in, put in the hard work. When you put in the hard work, know where you're going to. You know, decide to be different, dare to be different. Um, let something stand you apart. Let something stand you out. Now, the word on-air personality is very instructive because if you take out the personality, what do you have? Can someone just say? Can you guys say it? What do you have
On air.
on air?
On
Okay,
air.
good, good. So I know that some of you are awake while the others are asleep. What do you have when you take out the personality?
On air, sir.
On
Uh-huh.
air.
On air, sir.
On
Uh-huh.
air, sir.
So
On the
imagine
air.
if you're just, yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. I know you're all awake, you're all awake. Imagine if you are just there. You know, you ask somebody, how are you? Person say, I'm just there. I don't like that kind of response. You know, I don't like when someone says, I'm just there. How do you mean you're just there? You can't be just there. Don't just be just there. But that's what we say. So if you don't have personality, it means that you are just there. You are just there. Just go on air. There's no difference between you and the music they're listening to. Okay. So you need to have personality. Okay, for instance, Sammy Wejia, who is your principal here, has personality. You know, there's something about him that stands him out. There's something about him that distinguishes him, you know, from there's a way he does his things. Okay. I have the way I do my things. It's something about me. So what I'm saying is whether you're on air, if you're on air, that is, you need to be distinguished. Let be something about that people can point to, you know, that people can. It's like music. You know, you hear Rema's voice. You know that this is how Rema does his new music. You hear Whiskey. You know this is how Whiskey does his own music. You hear Messi Chinwo. You know that this is how Messi Chinwo does music. There's nothing that's that Rema will go and copy from Messi Chinwo. You know what I'm saying? So try and be distinguished. Distinguish yourself. Another thing is this: you never stop learning. The day you stop learning is the day you stop growing. Okay. So some people get on radio, they feel they've arrived. They feel that's it. You know, you have to constantly evolve. You have to constantly unlearn and relearn. What's the latest technique? What's the latest technology? What is the new way of doing things? Can I add one more skill to what I know? Okay. Please, what I'm saying, because I'm going to ask you. So this is an industry of skill. Hmm? Are you with me? Are you with me, guys? With me? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
we're with
Yes.
you.
Yes,
Go
sir.
ahead.
Yes,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
we're with you. Sorry, we can hear you.
All right. So good. So this is an industry of skill. Huh? So what sets you apart from other people is the skill that you possess. So yeah, you know how to talk. Yeah, but okay, can you add writing to that? Can you? Oh, I don't like writing. Okay, can you learn how to write a piece? Can you learn how to write, you know, an article? Can you just add that to what you're doing? You know? Um, okay. Can you learn how to podcast? Can you learn how to edit audio? Can you? So, what do you get as a basic foundation to get you into media or broadcasting. When you to learn, you know, at the end of the year, you ask yourself, what have I improved? What have I learned? What do you think have I added to my journey? For instance, now we have artificial intelligence. Is what do you call it? Is out there, and everybody, different industries are using it. In journalism too, there's artificial intelligence and to be used. You know, there are free courses online that you can take to help you understand the nexus between journalism and artificial intelligence and how you can use it. Okay, so I mean, I did a course. You know, I did a course. I'm online somewhere for free. You know, said okay, you can learn about artificial intelligence and journalism, and my phone. You know, now the phone is the computer. So you know, and that's it, because that's what's really so. I can't sit back and tell myself, oh, I've been in this industry since 2007. I mean, no one can come and show me anything. I mean, I'm no, no. Otherwise, I'll become archaic, or I'll become an expired, an expired on a personality, come old school. Okay. Now, personally, will get my today. You know what I'm saying? What's happening today? So that's that. That's that. Then the final thing I'll tell you. Final thing I'll tell you is, don't be afraid to do stuff for free up to a certain point. All right, because through the door in this industry, some people get it easy. They just get a job. They get an appointment. They get employment, and they just start getting paid their salary from day one. Yeah, I'm happy for those people, but a lot of people don't get it that way. You know, everywhere is occupied. People are already in those jobs. Who are you going to kick out? And then when there's an opportunity, you have so many people, applying for one role. It's going to stand you out. You know, beyond your internship posting. Now, when you're done with this training, I know you'll be taking on internship. If you can work anywhere for free, you can look for a media house where they have a need for someone to come and just be on standby. You go and do it, and then when there's a job, when there's an opportunity, the guy who's been waiting to put his certificate from this media master class to use will apply. They'll ask him what experience does he have. He'll tell you he has 1 month internship. You, meanwhile, you've been doing it for 1 year somewhere without pay. Without pay. Don't wait till there's a vacancy. If you wait, so ask yourself, what have you been doing since you graduated from media academy? You know, I'll take the guy who has been working for free because he seems more passionate than you who's been waiting for employment before you use your certificate to grow. Are you with me? All right. So you
Yes,
see,
sir.
this
With
industry,
you, sir.
you learn by doing. All right. So the more you do, the more you learn. Now, I don't sound the way I sounded the first day I went on air. I don't sound that way. And your principal certainly would tell me, attest to that fact, that he doesn't sound the same way he sounded the first day he went on air. Is he not the same person? He's the same person. What changed? Because he was constantly doing it, constantly doing it, constantly doing it, constantly talking every day. How can the guy who is talking every day remain the same? It's impossible. So look for opportunities, grab them, seize them, and utilize them, and decide that you're not just going to be at home doing nothing with your certificate. Go out there and shine. Go out there and make use of your talent, and you become better. And when an opportunity comes your way, you'll be ready for. All right. I worked for 5 years in a government station. Part of those 5 years, I was receiving zero salary. The remainder of those 5 years, I was getting 3,000 naira per month. And then when they decided to give me something substantial, I was getting 8,000 naira per month. That's what I was getting. 5 years. 5 years. But I think I've come a bit of a way, and I'm talking to you today. All right, people, I'm done. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me, and I'll be very glad to answer them. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that, sir. All right, you guys, you know how we usually do this. If you have a question, please raise your hands. I will call. Yes, thank you. I will call from the number of people that have their hands raised. Only unmute your mic when I ask you to. All right, so for the first person, Paul West, please go ahead, unmute your mic and ask your question.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Can you hear me,
yes.
sir?
Paul, yes, I can hear you. Go.
My question goes like this. Based on the lessons from your journey through the media industry that brought you up to your peak, I know you were taking a show called Hard Facts on Nigeria Info Port Harcourt and all that led to your struggles with the Chima Ikunado's scenario and all you went through, the hurdles through when you were in the media industry in Port Harcourt in Nigeria Info. Like, how did those challenges you faced, how did they help shaping you and help you move forward, and you're still standing strong and waxing stronger in the industry, and you are at the apex of the industry? How did you face through them?
Thank you very much, Paul. It's good to hear from you, and I appreciate the fact that you followed my trajectory. Well, the travels are in different facets, so I don't know which one you're referring to, but let me just answer, and maybe I'll add some things. Well, I faced some quite some travels, but I also had some. Had very good moments. What I'll say is I don't know if you're referring to, but okay, let me put it this way. One of the fallouts from that Chima Kunado episode is that it cost me, I don't know what I can say costing my job, but it cost me my reputation with the CEO of my company. Okay. And whilst I had people in Port Harcourt really, really gushing over Nigeria, and for my colleagues took up the advocacy, okay, and in fact, some senior journalists were commending us for staying on that story and at least ensuring that that the spotlight was kept on it and people didn't die needlessly. Family men were not wasted. Someone put up an article, story on an unknown blog. It's normal in Port Harcourt, in River State. The politicians have how they do. They can write a story about you, write a story about Samuel Jian, say Samuel Jian has done XYZ, just shake him up. So we had been used to it. So what did they write? They said that I collected 5 million naira to push this Chima Kunado story to make the police look bad, make the CP look bad. And they called on my company to relieve me of my duties. It was laughable because, first of all, Chima Kunado's wife, when we organized the press conference, because of my media position, what I did was I stayed on the advocacy front, but I never appeared on any TV interview, any other, when the newspapers were coming forward. I never appeared on all those things. I was just, collaborating with civil society in Port Harcourt, the NGOs to do what they had to do. So I was just in the background. The only thing we do is would read out the news on radio, how the story is going, and talk about it. But in terms of presenting those guys for the press, the wife, the family, the baby, where they will appeal, to TV stations and just appeal to the press that they should please, public should please come to a aid. I never showed my face, never. But I was always around in the corner, the background, never gave any interview apart from my radio program. So I remember one day when I first saw Chima's wife, she came into Port Harcourt from the village with the baby. I wept. I wept. I wept. I went into my car, picked my bag, brought out small money I had on me. Then, and I took out 5,000 naira and I gave it to her. I said, how can you come all the way from wherever you came from just to cry to the world that they should please help you? Your husband was killed and you need justice. And she looked so helpless and poor. And I gave her that amount of money. It's small. But that's what I had on me, and I just gave it to her. And then I wake up and I see that so I'm asking myself, is it Chima's wife that gave me 5 million naira? There's some things that when you just watch it, it's also stupid, so don't even waste your time. But the fact is, some people believed it, and at the end of the day, my reputation in the company was affected because I think some people saw it as an opportunity to to paint me black. So I mean, it's a no-brainer. That can't happen. Because it's common sense would dictate that there's no way they can pay me that money. So anyway, it's some of those experiences, made me stronger, made me a better person, made me realize that there's a lot of power in what we do. Whilst we do not engage in activism, advocacy is allowed. What is advocacy? If you are you are sexually active, please use a condom. That's advocacy. Um, um, you know, go get your HPV vaccine, blah, blah, that's advocacy. Say no to cultism, that's advocacy. Don't throw refuse, don't litter the streets. That's advocacy. Make sure you observe your environmental sanitation, that's advocacy. So it made me understand that we have an enormous power to advocate for things that are apolitical, that makes society better. And that when anyone tells me that, oh, you're a media, not activist, I tell them, no, you're an advocate. If I can tell the public that, they should not have unprotected sex, which is their private business anyway, can't I tell or call on the government to please look into a case of human rights abuses? I can. And don't let anyone deceive you. But you see, there's a fine line between being an activist and an advocate in the media. So you have to now understand how to draw the line. So for public good, there's no light in this area. You can do all that. There's a dead body on the road somewhere. There's a, I've done quite a number of those in Port Harcourt. We did quite a lot. So that helped me understand that there's enormous power and in what we do to bring some good positive change to society. That's what I realized. So yes. And of course, every other negative experience really just made me stronger, made me fearless, made me some ideas that I'm implementing today I got it from those periods of hiatus, hiatus. Okay. And I also learned because at some point I got, and people don't know, who say, oh, Koffi resigned from Nigeria. No, I didn't resign. But I learned that that sometimes your phone will not ring. you know, when you're not always available, which is okay. It's part of life. There's nothing wrong if people don't remember you when you're not, around on the platform that they um they used to. It's just part of life. It's nothing there. It's not personal. Then also, I learned that sometimes you, as a media person, you think also of your personal welfare too as well. Okay, when you're doing your job, whilst there's a stage where you will be, jumping everywhere, there's a stage where you'll be a bit picky as to how you exert yourself. You know how you exert yourself, because nobody knows tomorrow. Sometimes all those things will pale into insignificance. So try to also take care of yourself, and you'll be fine. All right, I've divulged too much. I hope that this recording won't go anywhere. Thank you very much, Paul. I hope that I answered your question.
Thank you very much, sir,
Yes,
for your
yes, sir,
response.
absolutely. Absolutely, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your response, sir. Paul West, you can raise your hand down now. Please, everyone, try to keep your questions as brief and clear as possible so that our lecturer may be able to answer it properly for you. The next person, Jimmy Jackson, the floor is yours. Please ask your question.
All right, thank you so much, and good evening to everyone. Good evening to Mr. Koffi Bartels. What a privilege and a pleasure to finally speak to you directly. My name is Jimmy Jackson, a student of Estate Management, University of Cross River State, 300 level. And I've actually been in the media space for a very long time, but, we learn every day. And yes, I'm still in that process. So I have a question for you, Mr. Koffi. You said something about, play intend, doing intend for a long time, and just keep doing it, in case there are openings and all of that. Right now, especially in the media space, where we have a whole lot of media houses springing up, and for the owners of those media houses, they are not looking at actually bringing in professionals. So just look at someone who can please speak good English. You never had business, and even when the professionals go, they don't want to pay better. So I'm asking this because at least I have been intending for, I think, a couple of years now. I can't count, but it's more than 10 years. So now my question is, a lot of people just want to, especially for the young folks who want to go into the media space, they just feel like, maybe one time on mic, they can fare better and start demanding. How long do you think one can intend, and at what point do you think one can say, yes, I'm better off and I should be able to place my demand on the table if there are offers that actually would actually be made available? So that's my question to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Good to hear from you, my brother from Cross River University. That's, I think, at off Edibe Road, if I'm not mistaken, in Calabar South.
No, Ekwobasi.
Ekobasi. I was
Yes,
born
Calabar
in,
South.
yes, I grew up off New Airport Road. That's where I was born, Calabar South. Like, that's where as a baby, my house was in Calabar, off New Airport Road. From that Crutech gate, you go straight before we moved to Calabar Municipality and left you guys in Calabar South. And
Okay.
I did 5 years in CRBC as an artist, 5 years without a salary, and the highest I got from CRBC was 8,000 naira. When I got into CRBC, it's a long story. I can tell that story from now till tomorrow. But basically, when I got in CRBC, I kept going there. I kept knocking on the door because I wanted to. Oh my God! I wanted to be. Wanted so bad to be on radio or TV. Sorry, So I got into CRBC, knocked on the door, met Aye Henshaw, who was then director of programs TV years ago. I'm sure you know Aye Henshaw. Maybe I've heard of
I
him.
do.
Yes. So he asked me, can I get sponsors for my TV program? Blah 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 blah. I couldn't get sponsors. I walked the entire stretch of Marion Road, Calabar. Then Donald Duke was governor, I think. Yeah. Or was it Imoke? Looking for sponsors. I went from office to office, sweating under the scorching sun, drinking pure water on the way. And then bikes were still allowed in Calabar. My friends would pass on bike, hailing me. I'd be like, oh, yeah. I was Unical by then. And I just wanted to get on TV. I had ideas. I knew my ideas could work. I knew I could do it. But I wasn't there. There was no chance. I didn't know anybody. So I would write all these proposals or programs I can do, blah, 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 without knowing where I'm going to get camera from. I didn't even understand what it was to produce the program. I just wrote the ideas. So I said, go get sponsors. I said, yes, that's it. I'll get the sponsors. I went to Cyber Mall, went to Crunchies, to Fiesta Fry, all those places, went to everywhere. Or Marian, because this is where the companies were. I didn't get one sponsor. I'm an expert today in knowing when a sponsorship application, whether it will work or not. All those will get back to you, will call you back. I can tell if somebody is boboing you. Let me use that term. Over a sponsorship, I can tell because it happened. I've lived that life, so I know how it works. So bottom line is, a colleague of mine, God bless his soul. He's in Lagos now. I went to meet him. He was a student too, working as an artist or intern in CRBC with next to nothing as salary. But I admired all of them. I admired so many. Like, man, I want to be like these guys. God, there's one chance to be on TV. Just give me one opportunity. So I went to meet him in Malabo, in his bunk. And I said, oh boy, I want to enter CRBC. See what's in there. They tell me, say, they say, I don't try, no sponsor. Oh, I said, oh boy, why do you want to do TV now? Why don't you start with radio? It's so easy. You can just do a program, you can host it, you don't have to have any other thing extra, just do it, blah, blah, blah. And I said, oh, wow, that's true. So I went to see the director of programs. God bless the lady. She's retired now. And I said, Madam, please, can I get a slot? She looked at me. Woman doesn't know me from anywhere, and said to me, we can't pay you. I said, man, I don't mind. I will do it. So, okay, go and bring me a synopsis. That's the first one I heard of the body synopsis. You understand? Most of what I know about this job, I learned on the job. That was the first time I heard about the word synopsis. So I went to ask the guy, what's in the synopsis? I beg. He explained to me, blah, 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 blah. Bottom line is, I did the synopsis and the rest is history. But they told me that I won't be paid. So nobody sent me. Let me send myself. You understand? Let me send myself. So I was ready for it. But at some point, you'll be wanting something, But that's what I did. Now, at what point do you tell yourself, it's enough? You need to move to the next level. You will know. Nobody can give you. I can't give you a date. I can't give you a time frame. You will know when you're ready to move. When we were doing almost all the programs in CRBC, and SACPA was hitting us. I'll read news on radio. Downstairs, when they moved CRBC downstairs, the radio downstairs, that news studio. I'll read news there. In the morning, present the program. Boss will come and pick me from 6 a.m. and I'm on air. By 7 or 8, I have to wear my suit, run upstairs to go and read TV announcements and news. all those personal paid announcements, this obituary and all those things, government announcement, on empty stomach. Empty stomach. My belly would they pinch me. If you've never known what it means to be hungry, ask those who know what it means to be hungry. My belly would they bite me. But I was happy to be doing it because I knew that if I just got better at this thing and studied the ropes and understood the process and how the thing is done and learned, I learn well, I learn fast. And what is going to prevent me from becoming an authority, household name? So I finished reading the news on TV, run down, go and continue my program. But you understand? People, some of the boys, the guys who I gave opportunity to present on my morning program on radio are the likes of Emmanuel Duke and Ralph Udofa, okay, and Judith Atibi. You understand? These guys are talented, and I take no credit for where they are today. Okay, they are talented, and they worked hard for where they are today. But I have a small part in their story, and I'm proud of it. You understand? So at some point, I had my own show. Okay, so from reading announcements for Remega or for the late, what's his name, Peter Tech setting. Oh, take my, from there to now hosting my own show. There was a time I used to pray for one of them to be late so I can read the news. And indeed, one day Peter Tex was late. He was late. He couldn't make it. He went to the club. And it was a Monday morning, and he said, "Koffi, I'm tired, man. Can you take the news?" I said, "Yeah, I will." So I took the news. That was my first time. So what I'm saying is this: yeah, today, Emmanuel is head of station Hits FM. Today, Ralph, he did his music thing, and by his own hard work, he's with Maven Music. Judith, that one, from beginning to end, I was one who was dragging her on radio on my own, and she's with Classic FM. She's with Smooth FM in Lagos. She's doing well, hosting shows. So if you're waiting for a perfect opportunity to be employed, you won't get it. But if you want to learn and grow, when you're growing, tomorrow opportunity will present itself. You'll be the experienced one, So bro, when it's time for you to leave. Okay? If you believe in God, you'll know. So that's all I can say. I tried so many times to break out of that government station to any private station that came my way. I was just ready to move, just to leave Calabar. You know how it is now. Everybody wants to leave Calabar. And opportunities never came. Till one day, the opportunity fell on my lap, and it was to join Nigeria Info. That's another story for another day. Okay, so when your gut to tell you, your body will tell you, when it's time to move. All right. Thank you. I hope I answered your question. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for your answer, sir. The next up, we have Daniel Monday. The floor is yours. Ask your question.
Okay, good evening, sir, and good evening, Mr. Koffi Bartels. I want to ask, did you face any challenges adapting to a house style when you switched media houses? And if you did, how did you tackle them?
All right, that's a very nice question. And the simple answer is no, I didn't. So this is what happened. I started as a sports journalist, all right? And I was helped by some of my colleagues today, some of whom they helped me, the likes of Chuma Noli, was there the first day I hosted a show, was part of like the hosting team of the show. Chuma was there. They were the ones who gave me a chance, to be part of their program. But what I applied to do, the program I applied to host, when I was told to bring a radio synopsis, after I said, okay, this TV thing, maybe I don't understand how this came. Let me just start with radio. One of the programs I applied to host was the program I proposed was a political kind of like current affairs kind of thing. because I consider myself, very interested in current affairs, and so I was doing that program for till I left, interviews about nobody was doing it in the station because until said our government station, you understand, and people were really didn't want to get into the bad books of government and all that. But my program was on radio, it was at night, so most of these my guys were asleep. So even if people now was taking messages, we're not taking calls then. You understand? So I was doing it. So when I got on info, that's why I said sometimes things just align and it's time for you. When I got on info, it was the same thing. I used to do music, the school FM, Beat FM thing. I used to do it, but then I also had this program. I was nurturing. I was interviewing people. I was going the extra mile to do chroma key. Nobody on the station was doing chroma key. I was the only one doing chroma key. I used virtual sets. Research, create virtual sets, create. Nobody on the station was doing it, and you see like a desk. Like people ask you, "Is that CRBC?" I'll say, "Yeah." People that they don't believe because it looked different. It looked different, and I'll spend sleepless nights with my friend Ekpe, who is in CRBC and Government House, video editor. Stay up. Ekpe will stay up to edit my videos for me. You understand? Ekpe will stay up. I owe that guy a debt of gratitude, man. Ekpe, I'll go to his house at, where is it? Was it the one say or where? You know, till 10 p.m. If you stay out to Calabar 10 p.m., that's really late. 11, I'll get home by 11 with a DVD of my program. Sometimes it'll crack. It won't play well. My program will be hanging. But so that's what I was doing. So when I got to PH, I didn't have a difficulty because I was interested in. You have to know yourself. You have to know what you're interested in. If you're not a political person, well, you can learn. I have colleagues who joined Nigerian Phone. They said, "Oh, this politics thing," but they just applied themselves, and they're so good at it now. So good at it now, you know. So there's nothing you can't learn if you put yourself to it. For me, it wasn't hard. It was pretty easy because I was already on it. But it's nothing you can learn. If you apply yourself, it's not nothing you can learn. Supply yourself. It's nothing you can learn. All right. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you very much for your answer. Next up, we have Suberekon Iyoyo. Please unmute your mic and ask your question.
Okay, good evening, sir. Good evening, everybody in the house. My question is just, it boils down to what you said about. Can you hear me, sir? Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yeah, go on. I can. Yes.
Okay. My question boils down on what you said about internship. Sir, I know you agree with me that times are different now. When you were quite younger, isn't the same thing with now. Now the economic situation of the country is really, really, really harsh. And the reality of it is that everybody would want to do something and get at least a substantial amount of money for it. So do you still think it's possible in this current economic climate, in this current situation where to even eat is even the problem? Everybody's finding it really difficult. And for a fresh graduate from school and all of that, do you think it's still possible for anybody to be an intern in this current situation of things? And the second question, let me be fast. The second question I have to ask is, can you say you would concentrate on one particular field in radio? Let's say, for example, you want to be a sports journalist. Can you say, okay, this is where I'm going to be fixated on. I am not going to do any other thing. Is it a good thing to do, or is it a nice thing to do? Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me start from the last question. It's good to stand for something, to be known for something, all right, to become an institution in something. However, it's in life. I've learned, experience of life has taught me you can't limit yourself. I've seen people who started as sports journalists and today they're anchoring morning programs and they're doing so well. I've seen people who started as sports journalists today, they're head of news. My good friend Ufuma Bamno is an example. He's doing well, so well. Head of news of the entire Kuwazobia Info. And I mean, if nobody would have thought, but he's doing it. So you never know. Don't limit yourself. However, be known for something. You understand? Be known for something. Let people know you for something. But don't limit yourself, okay? Because you never know when or where your next big break will come from. That being said, talking about the first question you asked, see, oh boy, there is nothing new under the sun, okay? Don't be deceived. All these things you are saying that things are hard, it's always been that way. As you grow older, you realize that everything we are seeing today in this world is just a repetition of everything that has obtained. Everything that is happening in Nigeria and the world today, okay? Everything that's happening in Nigeria and the world today, whether it's Israeli-Palestinian conflict or whether it's Hamas or whether it's inflation or go and ask your parents, go and ask uncles and stuff. It happened before. We just feel it. Even fashion, okay, in this modern era of wearing trousers and shirt and suit, there are a few fashions that are new. Some things are repetition of old. I mean, when I was in school, Afro came back. Afro, it was Afro, but that was what our parents did. So, bro, let me tell you, there's nothing new. Okay, there's nothing new. People have been suffering and going through hardship since. There was civil war in Nigeria. People went through. There was famine in some part of Nigeria and even in Ghana at some point. My parents would tell me how they used to all share small gari. That small gari, they'll put it on the fence so that sun will hit it so it will swell. And all those kind of things. So leave it. There's nothing new. What will remain, what will remain that you cannot contest are principles. Principles are the things that will always be there. Now, the principles that worked last year, principles, I'm not talking about principles, just values and principles, are the same principles that will remain till Jesus comes. Okay? Principles of delayed gratification, principles of pay now, play later, principles of hard work and applying yourself to get something, piece of buying the future. Buying the future. How do you buy the future? You buy the future by investing today. So what I'm saying is, if you find it difficult to feed, and for instance, I have given someone an internship opportunity for 1 year. After struggling to give this person this internship opportunity, she's not telling me she'll come twice a week. Why? Because of transportation. But these are the same things that people face. So you have to decide. I tell you what, the guy who's in Calabar, I mean, I used to trek. In Calabar, if you know your way around, you can trek. I mean, I used to trek from my house at Marian Hill by Mary Slessor, Holy Child Secondary School, to Egerton, Beecroft Street, where my church was for my fellowships, almost every day. Okay? But, you trek, Calabar, by the time you enter, you don't reach where to go. Now, thankfully, CIBC that I was in is the guy who knows Calabar, once I get onto from Marian Hill, get onto Barracks Road, within 20 minutes of walking, I don't reach CIBC. So he helped me. Or if I'm in Unical, once I just walk from the Unical gate to. So many times I trek to work. I remember one day I got to work, and as I was going, there was water, like it rained heavily. I had to walk through water. There's a place called Prison Barracks, just behind CRBC. That's my shortcut. I had to walk through water. Okay? I tell you what, when I left school, I graduated. My mates, were at home waiting for service. I went to learn how to do video photography, digital photography. It was a big deal then. It still is, but I mean, then it was like a new thing. So I went to learn. How did I learn digital photography? I learned it for free while I was in school. So when I graduated, there was an opening somewhere, one new studio owned by Brotherhood called Broland Technologies in Okara Request. I went there and I said, I can manage your studio. They applied me. I started doing this CRBC thing, what they call artist. I was earning 16,000 naira then. My mates were waiting to go for sale. Give girl chop money, I could, load recharge card, I could take a girl out to restaurant. That was 2007 or 6, 5, 6, no, 7, 6, 7. So But I read a book. I think it was Think and Grow Rich, one of those books I like to read. And I read the story or the principle of burning bridges. That if you want to advance in something, you have to give yourself totally to it. You have to forgo every other thing that is seeming to be an advantage to you or something that, and then focus on that thing and damn the consequences. See, there's no progress without sacrifice. So what are you willing to sacrifice? So tell you what, I resigned. You see that CRBC that wasn't paying me, that internship that wasn't paying me 0 naira. I resigned from that photo studio I was managing. They would pay me a salary every month. I was just comfortable. I resigned and said, like, I can't continue to do this, my media thing part-time. Let me focus on it full-time. And I'm going to take a risk to do this thing this book said I should do, which is to burn the bridges. So when you burn the bridges, mean you can't go back. When you say you are burning the bridges, mean you can't go back. You are you are you are in it. If you walk, you know, fine. If you know walk, say say no work. So I took that risk and I went there and I suffered, bro. I went through hunger. But at the end of the day, it paid off. It paid off. I don't know. I'm just going to air in 6 minutes time. So I don't know if we can call it a day now. So I can quickly just walk into the studio.
Okay, thank you very much for your time, sir. Sadly, I'm sorry, guys. It seems our lecturer doesn't have much time and we won't be able to take other questions. I am very sorry. So we will, sadly, the class ends now. The class has ended. Anything else, Mr. Sami? All right, so it seems Ogasami is not here. But I'd like us to use this opportunity to thank the lecturer for making out time for this class. I'm sure we've all learned a lot from learning from his experiences and the amount of advice that he has managed to give to us. I'm sorry your questions could not be answered, but sadly, that's the price we have to pay. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank
Welcome.
you so much,
If you are on DSTV, you can watch me on channel 42 in about a few
Thank,
minutes. All right.
thank you so much, sir. We're very grateful.
All right, everyone, please mute your mics. Don't forget to turn in your assignments for this class. Please don't forget to turn in your assignments. Thank you so much for attending. All right, the lecturer has exited the class.